HMS Tiptoe, pennant number P332, was a British submarine of the third group of the T-class. She was built by Vickers Armstrong, Barrow, and launched on February 25, 1944. She was one of two submarines named by Winston Churchill, and so far has been the only ship of the Royal Navy to be named Tiptoe. In 1955 she was involved in a collision with a coastal steamer whilst in Tromsø harbour. She was involved in escape trials off Malta in 1962, and the commanding officer was reprimanded in 1964 following an incident in the Firth of Clyde where she was run aground, and again in 1965 when she collided with HMS Yarmouth. Although originally named for the ability to sneak up on someone undetected, she maintained several links with ballet, including the Royal Ballet and ballet dancer Moira Shearer. She was scrapped at Portsmouth in 1975, while her anchor is on display in Blythe, Northumberland. Design and description: HMS Tiptoe was one of the Group 3 of T-class submarines. She was named by Winston Churchill, with the intention to imply that it could approach the enemy silently as if on tiptoe, although the Royal Navy Naming Committee was against the name, stating that it was derogatory to one of His Majesty's ships, but the Prime Minister had his way. The only other Royal Navy vessel to be named by Churchill was HMS Varangian. She was part of the second batch of the third group to be ordered, in 1941. She was one of a number of boats which had an all-welded hull which increased diving depth to 350 feet, 107 meters, an increase of 50 feet, 15 meters. The torpedo armament was the same as the earlier Group 2, although by the time Group 3 was coming into service it was realized that external torpedo tubes had major problems and affected the streamlining of the boats. The external tubes were abandoned in the following Amphion-class submarines. Because of expected use in tropical climates, boats of Group 3 were equipped with Freon blowers in order to deal with the increased temperatures. She was built by Vickers Armstrong and was laid down at their shipyard at Barrow-in-Furness on November 10, 1942 whilst still known as P332. Following her launch on February 25, 1944, she departed the builder's yard on June 10, 1944, arriving at Holy Loch on the following day, where she was commissioned on 12 June. Service: Second World War. After completing training on 10 September, she returned to Barrow in order to correct some defects. Between 5 October and January 12, 1945, she was equipped with new radar equipment and other equipment to prepare her for deployment in the Far East. She arrived in Trincomalee, Sri Lanka on March 1, 1945 prior to her first war patrol. En route from Britain, she had stopped at Gibraltar, Malta, Port Said and Ismailia in Egypt and Aden, Yemen. Her first patrol centered around the west coast of Burma and the Andaman Islands before heading on to Fremantle, Australia, and was uneventful. She departed Australia for her second patrol on 6 May with orders to patrol the Flores Sea. On 15 May, she sank a Japanese coaster of around 100 tons with gunfire near Dampo Bay, Sumbawa. The following day she sank another Japanese coaster with gunfire, this time around 200 tons, in Sepe Harbor. On 1 June, she approached and sank the Japanese merchant cargo ship Tabimaru near Matasiri, one of the Laut Kessel Islands. Tiptoe was damaged during the attack as the cargo ship was about to rendezvous with an escort. The escort launched 13 depth charges, putting all of Tiptoe's torpedo tubes out of action and flooded her sonar equipment. She returned to Fremantle on 17 June, and remained there undergoing repairs until 16 July when she left on her third patrol in the Sunda Strait along with her sister HMS Trump. On 31 July she attacked two small Japanese vessels, but broke off the attack when an aircraft was sighted. On 2 August, Tiptoe and Trump together destroyed two small vessels totaling 600 tons with gunfire. On 3 August, she carried out a torpedo attack against the Japanese Army cargo vessel Tencho Maru whilst it was in a convoy defended by a patrol boat. The final action of Tiptoe's last war patrol was on 9 August, when together with Trump, they destroyed an 800-ton coastal tanker in the northern part of the Sunda Strait. She returned to Fremantle on August 21, 1945. Post-war, during the Royal Inspection of the Home Fleet in 1947 by George VI, Tiptoe demonstrated diving and surfacing, along with the firing of her deck gun. In November of the same year, she was part of a group of 7 submarines with destroyer HMS Opportune to take part in anti-submarine training over the course of 2 weeks. Tiptoe was one of several all-welded T-class submarines rebuilt for greater underwater performance. Extra batteries were installed below the control room and additional electric motors were accommodated by cutting through the pressure hull and adding in a new 20 feet, 6 meters, hull section inserted aft of the control room. The diesel engines were modified and supercharged with output increased by 300 bhp. 224 kilowatts. The gun armaments and external torpedo tubes were removed, and the bow reshaped. The submarine was used in filming the 1950 film, Morning Departure, a naval film directed by Roy Ward Baker. During the course of filming, the submarine depot ship HMS Maidstone was used as a mothership for Tiptoe. In 1952 a further cinematic link was made when ballet dancer Moira Shearer presented a pair of size 3.5 satin ballet shoes to Tiptoe that she had worn in the 1948 film The Red Shoes. These are now at the Royal Navy Submarine Museum. Whilst in Tromsø Harbour on July 18, 1955, Tiptoe was damaged when a coastal steamer collided with her. The steamer, a 2,162-ton vessel called Nordlys, was entering the harbour when she collided with the British destroyer HMS Chevron. The steamer bounced off the destroyer and collided with Tiptoe, snapping her moorings as she was pushed halfway under a wooden quay. She took part in escape trials in 1962, which were a series of trials conducted off Malta and to escape from a submarine at extreme depths. Tests were conducted with men escaping from Tiptoe at depth of up to 233 feet, 71 meters, with ascent rates of up to 6.6 feet per second, 2 meters per second. The trials included the use of buoyant ascent suits, which involved a suit pulled over the sailor's head which fed them air as they ascended to the surface. For their work in the escape trials, Chief Petty Officer Christopher Crossman was awarded a commendation, and Lieutenant Commander L. Hamlin was awarded an OBE. Following a refit in Portsmouth, Tiptoe went to the Firth of Clyde for working up, arriving on January 10, 1964, when she was ordered not to enter Gareloch due to dense fog. The boat was duly turned around and ran aground on a muddy bank. As the fog cleared, it was realized the boat had run aground only 40 yards, 37 meters, opposite that of the house of the Royal Navy's captain in charge for the Clyde area, Captain G.D. Pound. Divers were sent out to assess damage, and after finding none, Tiptoe was refloated on the evening tide and pulled off the shore by 2 tugboats. The commanding officer at the time was Lieutenant Commander David Brazier, who was in his first command. He was later ordered to be severely reprimanded for negligence at a court-martial where he pleaded guilty to the charge. His defense statement read, "The ship was not worked up and it was a very green company. Unfortunately he ran into fog. He took all the precautions he considered necessary. Although he had all the theoretical knowledge, he was short of that tangible instinct of which we are all aware." Tiptoe was also damaged in a collision with HMS Yarmouth on July 13, 1965. Tiptoe was at periscope depth 10 miles, 16 kilometers, southeast of Portland Bill. Following the collision, the commanding officer, Lieutenant Commander Charles Henry Pope, was ordered to be severely reprimanded after being found guilty of 4 out of 5 counts of negligence. When she left for her final commission on February 24, 1967, 6 ballet dancers from the Royal Ballet attended the departure ceremony. At the time she was the oldest submarine in service with the Royal Navy. She attended Portsmouth Navy Days later in 1967. By the time she was decommissioned in 1969, Tiptoe was the last active T-class submarine in the Royal Navy. As she arrived at Spithead for decommissioning on August 29, 1969, a 13-year-old ballet dancer named Judy Wright danced on her upper deck. She was sold in 1971 and scrapped at Portsmouth in 1975. Her anchor was saved, and was mounted on stone in 1979 in Blythe, Northumberland. The town was used as a training base for submarines during both World Wars. Her oak nameplate, used in port and on ceremonial occasions, was recovered by John Storm, who served as her leading telegraphist 1944-45 and is now in the possession of his eldest daughter. Commanding officers: from to Captain 1944, 1945 Lieutenant P.R.H. Harrison, 1945, 1946 Acting Lieutenant Commander R.L.J. 1946, 1947 Lieutenant R.A.A.C. Ward, 1947, 1948 Lieutenant D. Cameron, 1948, 1949 Lieutenant D.R. Johnston, 1949, 1949 Lieutenant R.T. Smith, 1949, 1951 Lieutenant L.H. Oliphant, 1951, 1954 Lieutenant Commander D.C.T. Lane, 1954, 1957 Lieutenant Commander R.F. Park, 1957, 1958 Lieutenant Commander G. Bourne, 1958, 1958 Lieutenant Commander J.D.E. Fieldhouse Arran, 1964, 1964 Lieutenant Commander David Brazier Arran, 1965, 1965 Lieutenant Commander C.H. Pope Arran, 1967, 1967 Lieutenant Commander R.C. Whiteside Arran,